Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before I start, I would like to welcome the Evaluation Committee to our Institute. Indeed, it's a great pleasure to have you with us today. And I'm confident that we are going to have an excellent meeting aiming to further improve the scientific quality of our Institute. So in this talk, I will present an overview of past and future activities of our Institute. This is the outline of my presentation. First of all, I'm going to give you some basic historic notes, and then I will present the basic infrastructures of the Institute. I'll talk about the human capital, the structure and the mission of the Institute, and then I'll focus on the thematic areas, excellence, services, outreach and education, and I'll finish with our vision and the conclusions. Right, so the Institute for Astronomy, Astrophysics, Space Applications and Remote Sensing is one of the three institutes of the National Observatory of Athens, which was the first research institution of Greece, founded in 1842. In 1846, we had the first astronomical observation in Greece, while in 1895, we have the establishment of the first astronomical institute in Greece. And almost after a century, this institute was renamed to Institute for Astronomy and Astrophysics. On the other hand, the Institute of Space Applications and Remote Sensing had also evolved from the old Ionospheric Institute. And finally, our institute, ISRS, was established in 2012 by the merging of these two institutes. The human capital of the Institute. Currently, the personnel of the Institute is as follows. We have the director, of course. We have 28 researchers, 1 secretary, 1 technician, and 3 research support specialists. These people belong to the permanent staff of the Institute. On top of that, we have 30 scientists on contract, 39 postdocs, out of which 10% are scientists from abroad, and 49 students, making ISRS the largest institute in its field in Greece. At this point, I would like to stress that the number of permanent and non-permanent staff has increased by 80% and 87% with respect to that of the previous reporting period, namely 2013-2017. And also in these plots, you may see the spectrum of our personnel as well as the gender balance of the Institute. The structure of the Institute. First, we have the director. The director is elected for 4 years by a special committee, which is nominated by the National Research Council. Also, the director is member of the governing board of the National Observatory of Athens. On one hand, we have the Scientific Council, which is elected for 2 years by the permanent research personnel of the Institute. And the main duty of the Scientific Council is to propose, in collaboration, of course, with the director, the scientific policy of the Institute. On the other hand, we have the deputy director. The deputy director is proposed by the Scientific Council, and it is approved by the governing board of the National Observatory of Athens. And of course, we have 3 research groups and the visitor centers. I will come back. I will say some things in the coming minutes. Now, the Institute operates a wide range of national facilities, including those of 2.3 meters Aristarchus telescope, which is located on the mountain of Chalmos in the middle of Peloponnese. Actually, this telescope is the largest telescope in the Balkans, and it is membered to Opticon Radio pilot network. It is worth noting that this telescope became the first ground station of the Skylight project of the European Space Agency. There's a special talk for that in the coming talks. Second, we have the 1.2 meters telescope at Krioneri, again in Peloponnesos. This telescope has been utilized mainly in the context of the European Space Agency Neliota project for monitoring the infall meteoroids on the lunar surface. We have a solar telescope, which is located here in Pendeli. You may visit it tomorrow. The Beyond, of course, operational unit for monitoring natural disasters. Actually, we visited Beyond early in the morning and we had a fruitful discussion there. The Athens Station for monitoring the ionosphere in the framework of the European Digital Upper Atmosphere Survey System, the so-called DIAS. The remote sensing part of the Panhellenic Geophysical Observatory in the island of Adikithira. This is a major climate change monitoring infrastructure. Also, there's a special talk for Pangea this afternoon. The Hesperia, this is the second operational unit of the Institute, the Hesperia operational unit for forecasting space weather. And to this end, the Enigma Hellenic Geomagnetic Array. These are the main infrastructures of the Institute. The mission of the Institute. Our scope is to carry out state-of-the-art, basic and applied research in ground-based and spaceborne astrophysics from distant galaxies to the solar neighborhood, as well as near-Earth space physics, remote sensing, machine learning for signal processing. Also, I would like to stress that various teams of the Institute have the ability to convert applied research to high-quality services, which can be used by the Greek state, by several international organizations, and of course, by the public. I will say some things in the coming minutes.
Can I just ask something very quickly for context? So IAA-SARS is one of the three parts of the National Observatory?
Yes, it's one of the three institutes.
What are the other two?
It's the Institute for the Environment Studies, and the other one is the Geophysical Institute.
Okay, thank you.
Right. The Institute covers basically three thematic areas, namely astronomy and astrophysics. This particular group, among other things, investigates the physics of supermassive black holes, active galactic nuclei, galaxy evolution, massive stars, cosmology, etc. And it consists of 10 staff members. The second group is that of solar, terrestrial, environment, and space physics that studies the dynamics of the sun, the heliosphere, space weather, the variability of Earth's ionosphere, etc. And it contains 9 staff members. And the third group is that of remote sensing and machine learning for signal processing. And this particular group investigates the atmosphere, climate change, civil protection, and etc. And it consists of 9 staff members. In the coming talks, my colleagues will present details regarding the activities of our groups. Let's talk about excellence now. In fact, the scientific performance of our institute is quite high indeed. During the considered time interval, our researchers have published 426 refereed papers and receiving more than 30,000 citations. With respect to the previous reporting period, namely 2013-2017, the number of refereed papers and citations has increased by 34% and 96% respectively. At the level of funding, I think that we have done a great job indeed. We have attracted 19 million euros from competitive European and national research grants. Again, with respect to the previous reporting period, the number of funding has increased by 83%. Now, concerning the central funding, which is coming directly from the Greek state, and it is used to cover only the salaries of the permanent staff, I have to say that the external funding of the Institute is 3 times the income, meaning that for each euro that we get from the central budget, the added value is 3 euros. Right. Moreover, the excellence of the Institute is further demonstrated by the leading role of our researchers in numerous programs, namely Horizon 2020, Marie Curie, LEDEC programs, ESA projects. And of course, on top of that, we have the honor to run 2 ERC grants and 1 ERC proof of concept. The first ERC grant is in the field of Earth System Sciences, and this particular team, the so-called REACT team of the Institute, is trying to address the following question: why does travels longer distances than expected? I would like to mention that the same team has awarded an ERC proof of concept grant aiming to utilize specific equipment for commercial purposes. There's a special, of course, talk for this ERC in the afternoon. The second ERC is in the field of astrophysics, and this particular team is trying to address the following question: episodic mass loss in massive stars, key to understanding the explosive early universe. At this point, please allow me to say that among the three institutes of the National Observatory of Athens, we are the only one that has the privilege to host ERC grants. Okay. And of course, also I would like to mention the Horizon Prize that Haris Kondoes mentioned early in the morning, that the Beyond Operational Unit, as a leader organization of European Consortium, has received the first Horizon Prize for epidemics, early warning system for mosquito-borne diseases. This is a high prestigious prize, and we are very proud about Beyond. Assets. So our institute plays a critical role, to my view, as national hub for the space agencies and other relevant organizations. Just to give you an idea, the activity of our institute in the ESA SSA program, Space Civilian Situational Awareness program, to improve the monitoring and understanding of potential hazards by studying the impact of meteoroids to the moon. This is the so-called NELIOTA project, which is funded directly by the European Space Agency. And of course, our experience in these areas, namely SST, SSA, is further confirmed by the fact that we have managed to award a grant. We're talking about 11 million euros from the European Recovery Fund in order to build new facilities in Cryonero Observatory devoted to satellite tracking and near-Earth objects. Of course, the Pangaea Geophysical Observatory, as I said previously, which is founded by the European Investment Bank and the European Recovery Fund. I have to say that this is a central program of the National Observatory of Athens, aiming to build a superstation in the island of Antikythera in order to study climate change. Please permit me to say here that our institute plays a key role in this project, since we are the main component of this project. And just to give you some numbers, the total budget of this program is 22 million euros, out of which 11 million go to ISRs. And to this end, as I said at the beginning of my talk, Helmos Observatory was elected by the European Space Agency to become the first ground station of the Skylight project. In fact, recently we have managed to establish an optical communication link between Aristarchus telescope and AlphaSat satellite. And indeed, this achievement opens a new path for us, since a collaboration between our institute and worldwide industries such as OHB and Thales is already in the planning phase. Just to summarize this part of my talk, all the previous activities are expected to promote not only our institute, but Greece to a major player in the SST, SSA, climate change and optical quantum communications in Europe. Services. We've heard a lot from Haris Kondoes this morning. So we offer critical information and services concerning natural disasters, climate change, space weather, to the Greek state, to the space organizations, and of course to the public. Specifically, the remote sensing teams of the Institute introduced new perspectives and new tools to the following domains: disasters, climate change, agriculture, epidemics, etc. Since 2018, the REACT team of the Institute put a tremendous effort to establish, operate, and maintain the remote sensing facility of Pangea Observatory. In fact, at this moment, we have the ability to provide real-time in situ data streams to the various European and international organizations. The ionospheric team of the Institute is providing in real-time innovative services to the SSA program as well. And of course, our Institute is a key service provider to the Copernicus Flag Earth Observation Program by delivering several products which focus on disaster risk reduction mitigation, as Haris Kondoes described in his talk. Outreach. The Institute has a solid record of nearly 20 years of a public outreach program that includes special seminars, talks, and observations with the historic telescopes of the Institute. In fact, we have a great experience in this area, and indeed, during the reporting period, the visitor centers of the Institute in Pendeli, here in Pendeli and Thysio, have attracted, despite the pandemic, more than 135,000 people and about 1,200 schools. And of course, since we have a great experience in this area, we have managed to award a 2-year funding by from the operational program of Peloponnese in order to upgrade and utilize the infrastructures at Cryonerio Observatory for public outreach purposes. And of course, we have other activities regarding outreach, such as we organize international conferences, we have a vigorous seminar program, we have a summer school, etc. Moreover, our researchers are involved in the supervision and training of researchers at all levels, starting from graduate, doctoral, and postdoctoral level. And of course, we are collaborating with the local universities and international universities, of course, and therefore we offer many career development opportunities to young people. And here you may see our contribution to the national brain gain. Also, in 2018-2019, we organized with the Department of Informatics and Telecommunications of the University of Peloponnese the master degree program, Space Science Technologies and Applications. For the rest of my talk, I will concentrate on our vision for the next period, namely 2022-2026. So first, our vision is to help the National Observatory of Athens to establish a superstation in the island of Antikythera, and I have to say that this iconic infrastructure is going to study the climate crisis, which is a universal problem, actually. And as I said previously, our institute plays a key role in this program. Second, our vision is to establish a space hub for risk resilience and security in Cryonerio Observatory. In fact, we have already secured funding. Funding is coming by the European Recovery Fund. We're talking about 11 million euros, and this funding is in the context of the NOAA Aegis program. But apart from the equipment that we are going to put on Cryonerio land, also we need new buildings there. And in fact, we are going to reconstruct completely Cryonerio Observatory. The master plan for this reconstruction is ready. We have already secured funding. Funding is coming by the local government of Peloponnese, and the total budget of this project is close to 4.3 million euros. Regarding Helmos Observatory, first, our vision is first to use Aristarchus telescope. We're talking about a large telescope for transient science and multi-messenger astronomy, and also we're trying to join LISA. Second is to exploit the capabilities of James Webb Space Telescope. We have already awarded observing time via international collaborations that we have. Third, this is very important, is to refurnish Aristarchus telescope. In fact, two days ago, I received good news from the European Space Agency, and it seems that the European Space Agency is going to cover this refurbishment, and we are going to receive 1 million euros from ESA in order to refurnish Aristarchus telescope. And of course, to be beyond operational for the Skylight project, to join the Euro-QCI consortium for quantum communications. And in fact, I have to say that we have already submitted the proposal in collaboration with our partners, and we are talking about the total budget of this project is close to 5 million euros. And also our vision regarding solar and space is to participate in ESA monitor for our, is to participate in the coming missions regarding the Swarm and Solar Orbiter. The space team will provide details regarding this effort. So, in a nutshell, our vision for the next period is the following. First is to increase our ability to transform, to convert applied research to high-quality services for the benefit of the society and the economy. Second is to increase the number of permanent staff. Actually, this is very important for us. And in fact, we need to convince the Greek state that we need more permanent research personnel in order to achieve our goals. Just to give you some numbers, during the reporting period, we received 4 new permanent positions. Third is to further increase the growth of the Institute, is to sustain and expand a good record in attracting external funding and prestigious grants, and of course, to further increase the scientific excellence of the Institute. Overall, our general strategy for the next period is to become a center of excellence, and if you permit me to say that, a European leader in space, including astrophysics and Earth observation studies, by addressing key research challenges that lay ahead for the next decade. And in fact, to my view, we have the potential to achieve this goal since we have already growth, the quality of our human capital is unique, if you allow me to say that. Second, we have already scientific excellence. We know how to attract external funding. We know how to gain high prestigious European grants. And finally, as I have already described to my presentation, we have several competitive advantages, including those of Pangea, Skylight, and deep space communications. And hopefully we are going to join Euro-QCI for quantum communications. This is a very important project funded by the European Space Agency. And of course, hopefully we are going to have a space hub in Krioneri. As I said, we have already secured funding. So basically, these are my main conclusions, and I'll stop here. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.